Hey everyone, this is story number 3, The Freedom Soldier, from the life of Lal Bahadur Shastri. The name of this book is The Luminous Life of Lal Bahadur Shastri, and this is published by the Printline Books. To start with, the struggle for freedom was strengthened all over the country in 1930. Mahatma Gandhi started the Sword Satyagraha. Lal Bahadur played the most important role in it. How could he leave the chance of a lifetime? He had waited for such a long time to work with Mahatma Gandhi and Tilak. Both these personalities were his ideals, and he had grown up by looking at them, listening to their speeches, marking their world. He followed their footmarks and was going to make his dream come true. At the age of 17, Lal Bahadur had participated in the procession against the British government. The government had arrested him and but then freed him because he was young age. But this time it did not let him off easily. He had been calling on people not to pay land revenue and taxes to the government, and the government had been suspiciously suspicious about him. Now he was sent to the prison for 2.5 years. From this time onward, jail became his second home. He was sent to prison 7 times. He was forced to spend 9 long years in various prisons on different occasions. His going to jail was blessing in disguise. He had time to read a number of good books. He became familiar with the work of Eastern philosophers, revolutionaries, and social reformers. He translated the autobiographies of Madame Curie, the French scientist who discovered radius into Hindi, who discovered radium into Hindi. Lal Bahadur's quality shows Lal Bahadur's quality shone even in the prison. He was an ideal person. He was a model to others in discipline and command. Many political pers- many political prisoners used to quarrel among themselves for small things. They used to get embraced for small favors from the official to the prison. But Lal Bahadur used to give up all his comfort for others. The next thing is sense of humor. The greatness of Lal Bahadur was that the maintained his self-respect even in prison. Once, when he was in prison, one of his daughters fell seriously ill. The officers agreed to let him out of short time, but on condition that he should agree in writing not to take part in freedom movement during this period. Lal Bahadur did not wish to participate in the freedom movement during the temporary release from prison, but he said that he would not give it in written. He thought that it was against his self-respect to give it in written. The officers knew that he was truthful, therefore they did not insist. Lal Bahadur was released for 15 days, but his daughter died before he reached home. After performing the funeral, he returned to his prison even before the expiry of the period. 1 year passed. His son was suffering from influenza. This time, Lal Bahadur was allowed unconditionally to go home for a week. But the fever did not came down in a week. Lal Bahadur got ready to go back to the prison. The boy begged quietly with his tearful eyes. In a weak voice, he urged his father to stay. For a moment, the father's mind was shaken. Tears rolled down from his eyes, but the next moment his decision was made. He bade goodbye to all and left his home for prison. But by God's grace, his son survived. Two qualities that the leaders of any nation must are dedication and efficiency. Lal Bahadur had both these qualities in abundance. He would not turn into his aim, came what may. Then the people of India were fighting for freedom. He put aside all thoughts of prisoner of personal happiness and plugged into the freedom struggle. None of the factors like his daughter's death, his son's illness, and poverty made him turn away from his selected path. Even when he became a minister and later the prime minister, he was never attracted to the life of luxury and comfort. Lesson number 3: the post in prison again. When the Second World War broke into when the Second World War broke into 1939, the leader of our country were in confusion. When the people of India were slaves, how could they support the cause of Britain? In the end, they decided to launch a satyagraha against the British government for the freedom of our country in 1940. Satyagraha means opposition beside on truth. Opposition based on truth. Lal Bahadur was one of those who afford individual satyagraha. He was sent to prison for 1 year for this. The freedom struggle became more whispered and strong. The person were bursting with political prisoners. On August 8, 1942, the Indian National Congress, which led to the fight for freedom, decided at its significant meeting in Bombay, Mumbai now, to proceed for the final struggle against the British in India. It called on the British to quit India. The people were determined to do or die. The government reacted harshly to these calls and arrested many leaders. Prisons became overcrowded. The government used all cruel methods to suppression to quiz the movement in the very beginning. Lal Bahadur, who had just then came out after a year in prison, travelled from Bombay to Allahabad by train. He got off at a station unknown to the police. For a whole week, he used to send instructions to the freedom fighters from Anand Bhavan, Jawaharlal Nehru home in Allahabad. Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, the sister of Nehru, lived in Anand Bhavan at that time. The police came there to arrest her and to possess of the house. Lal Bahadur destroyed all the important documents. Luckily, the police arrested only Vijay Lakshmi Pandit and went away. A few days later, Lal Bahadur, who was underground, came out and shouted slogan against the government. The police arrested him and then so this was the entire chapter. Thanks for watching.